Well, let's move on now and go straight to Senegal. Senegal's President Macky Sall has rejected claims that it would be unconstitutional for him to seek a controversial third-term mandate, while refusing to confirm whether he plans to do so. The opposition, led by Ousmane Sonko, claims that Senegal's constitution prohibits Macky Sall, who was elected in 2012 and again in 2019, from running again in the next election scheduled for February 2024.
Recall that Senegal's constitution was revised in 2016 to shorten presidential terms to 5 years from 7. And it also states that no one can exercise more than 2 consecutive terms. But the opposition has repeatedly alleged that Sall intends to override the constitution just to do so. Now, a journalist and media consultant, Sana Kamara, joins us now from Banjul, the Gambia. Thanks for joining us, and good morning, Mr. Kamara.
All right, Mr. Kamara, I'm afraid we might want you to work on your audio a little more. We are not able to hear you because this is a conversation that we'd really love to have looking at Senegal. So let's hope that you can get that audio working while we take a look at what's at stake at this moment. Osalge, just yesterday, just all through from the weekend up until today, the opposition, Ousmane, has also gone on to say that he is being marginalized, is being attacked. His party is being thrown out of the window because he is a strong contender, he believes. And just yesterday in the news, he was talking about how he was almost poisoned and assassinated, where something was sprayed into his eyes, and the police decided to turn a deaf ear to his claims. So it's starting to look very funny in the sense that even in Senegal, ahead of the elections, there are always upheavals. And that brings to the question, why do we always have challenges when it comes to elections in Africa?
I think it's mostly because, there's just, difficulty with African presidents to actually let go of power. They not most times have to be wrestled out of power, either through the electoral process or through some other means. But it's just really, really difficult for, them to spend 2 terms and then let go of power. Sana Kamara, can you hear us now?
Yes, please.
All right, brilliant.
Great.
All right, welcome. Let's get into the conversation. Senegal's constitution was revised in 2016 to shorten the presidential terms to 5 years. But the president, Macky Sall, has argued that when the Constitutional Council was consulted before the revision, it considered his first term to be outside the scope of this reform. Is this true?
I think it's a matter of technicality, because when the new constitution was passed about 6 years ago, 2016, so 7 years ago, there was no specific mention of existing mandate or a new mandate. It specifically, explicitly said that a president cannot serve more than 2 terms. And by the time it was passed, Macky Sall had already served his first term, which was 7 years. So it was to his democratic credit for that 7 years to even reduce to 5. So a lot of Senegalese were voting with the hope that Macky Sall and any other president are going to serve only 2 terms. But in the constitution, it doesn't specify whether it's going to be starting after Macky Sall's 7 years. It specifically just said there's going to be 2 terms in office.
All right. Just as we mentioned earlier on, before you joined us, Kamara, in West Africa, in Nigeria to be precise, we do have protests ongoing. We also have protests ongoing now as we speak in East Africa, in Kenya, concerning elections as well. So everything is still centered around elections. And just this morning as well, Namibia, while celebrating its independence, there are protests still ongoing. And as we speak now with you as well, notwithstanding, we have protests in South Africa as well. All of these 4 are bordering on elections. Senegal is not left out of it. Protests are about to enter day 2 today. What are these protesters truly demanding, aside from telling Macky Sall to indeed make way for a new president?
The culture of protests and civil movement in Senegal is something that Macky found with the Senegalians. Macky's predecessor, Awad, had served 14 years. He, is the one who brought in these democratic reforms in Senegal. Senegal used to be one party-led kind of democracy in the past, from Senghor to Diouf. And then the opposition leader suffered seriously in fighting for some democratic changes. Until he came to office around the year 2000 or thereabout, Senegal wasn't enjoying some of these things full-fledged. But this old man came in and then made sweeping reforms, built institutions, separated power, and the separation of powers, and then the democratic space was truly consolidated. So when the old man wanted to go for a third term, it was the Senegalese people that rose and stood and said that rose and resisted. It's the same Senegalese people who are coming back to fight for Macky Sall also to step. So it's not something that is to, like Macky brought in something new. It's something that had been there before he came in. His only credit was that he managed to reduce the presidential term from 7 years to 5 years. To him, 7 years is a long term in terms of election cycle. So definitely, Senegalese are already used to the culture of fighting for or standing up for this as a right for the Senegalese people to stop their leaders who want to, because they don't want to go repeat the past experiences that they had with their leaders. So it's already in Senegalese culture for them to stand up and rise. Protests are normal way of life in Senegal as far as elections and non-election cycles are concerned.
Oh, and let's also have you talk a little bit about Ousmane Sonko, who, of course, is seemingly leading the opposition now to Macky Sall. He claims that there was an assassination attempt, against him. And I think in the past he's also had some court case, some allegations against him. I think a sexual assault allegation against him, seemingly trying to, reduce his chances of contesting against Macky Sall. So talk a little bit about, the strength of Ousmane Sonko in Senegal at this time, and if Macky Sall really is likely to run simply to, stop the chances of Ousmane Sonko.
Sonko is the potential success with Macky. He is opposition, he is younger, and he is well loved by the Senegalese people. He comes from the southern part and the part of Senegal where for the past 30 or so years, they have been engaged in struggle for their independence. So a lot of analysts, this is an opportunity for Senegal to reconcile the north and the south. And instead of the colonial divide that had been there for decades or for about around 2 centuries now. But the gentleman worked in the government. He was working in the revenue authority, and he had built a very credible career. The Senegalese loved and respected him. The problem is that he is the third in the past 12 years, the third candidate, opposition candidate, who is facing this series of, I would call it, these are cases that usually are instigated by, according to opposition themselves, by the ruling party to defeat incumbents or oppositions, sorry to say. For example, there was Khalifa Sall, the mayor of Dakar, who was supposed to be a candidate. But a case came up, and then he was accused of some corrupt practices, and then he was locked in prison, so he was automatically disqualified. There was a second one who was Karim Wade, the son of the former president, also a leader of the PS party, the Socialist Party. He was also charged with similar crimes, economic crimes, because they accused him of, he controlled several ministerial portfolios when his father was in office. He was also accused of economic crimes, and he was jailed. And so that's why when Ousmane Sonko came, and then also showing this potential to run, and then the series of court cases started to come down on him, the Senegalese came to the conclusion that it's a tactic used by Macky to neutralize opponents. And as a result, the people are also like, they're also standing by him to say that, no, this time we will not let you go, because this is the only person who is standing between you and your third mandate, like they say in French, troisième mandat. So if this man is neutralized, there is no other candidate capable of standing, standing up.
All right. Thank you so much, Sana Kamara, for actually joining us and breaking it down. I will look forward to touch base with you once again to find out what the latest is. Also, we do hear that lives were lost when the protest started, but we'll get more information from you when you join us again. Thank you once again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
All right.